All right, well, welcome to Sunday Ukulele, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to mute myself over on YouTube. There we go. All right. So as I was saying before, just don't worry about this so much right now. We're going to run through some other stuff, build up to it. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, you know what I'll do is I'm going to put my Zoom invite right in the YouTube feed, just in case anybody who's watching wants to join us, okay? There we go. So I do see that there's a person watching already, so you're welcome to hop onto Zoom if you want, or stay on YouTube, whatever suits you. All right, so I'm monitoring back and forth here. So if you do have questions on Zoom, just unmute yourself, ask a question, and then mute yourself again, okay? YouTube, type a question, and I'll try to answer it. All right, so let's start off with scales, okay? So now I don't have them written down this time because we're just gonna play them. I'll say the fret numbers, and then we'll just go up and down, and after we've done that a couple times, then I'll write it down here in this patch here, okay? All right, so A minor natural, also known as A Aeolian. The frets are, we'll just start off with a little chunk at a time. So 0, 2, 3 on the first string. Okay, here we go. 4 plucks per. I'm going to do this. I'm going to play my thumb and my finger. So I'm going to go pluck, 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 pluck. Try it with me if you want. Do a different finger picking, whatever you want. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the open. Here comes 2. And 3. Now 5 and then 7, so up to 5. Here comes 7. Then 8 and then 10. And then after 10 comes 12. Ready? Up to 12. Here we go. 12. Back down to 10. And next up is 8. And then 7. And then 5. Ready? Here comes 5. And then 3. And then 2. Here we go. And then open. Let's do it again. Okay. My hope is that by doing it this way, you guys can memorize the pattern, because then you can play it on any string, right? Okay, here we go. Let's go for it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Open. Then 2. Here comes 3. And after this is 5. And then 7. And then 8, and then 10. Here comes 10. And then 12. Back down to 10. Then to 8. 7. Okay, now 5. Then 3, then 2. Here comes 2. And then open. Now, I purposefully used different position changes as I was going up and down, because remember how we talked about position changes last week? And I said, like, you can play in second position here. Wherever your first finger is, that indicates a position, right? So I played in second position here. And then I went and played in 5th position. And then I switched it up and I went to 8th position. I just had my pointer finger on fret 8. And sometimes I do this, 8, 10, 12. And it's because the frets are smaller there, so I can do a little stretch. Okay. Flexibility is important, right? Like there's lots of lots of times where you feel like there should be rules. I say often they're guidelines. So now I'm going to write down those numbers now. Okay. Now that you guys have had some time to play it without looking at the whiteboard. Now I know there's that light there. Oh, did you hear that wail? That's my cat Nico. Now not everyone's seen him, so we're just going to pause for a second so everyone can meet Nico. I know, right, Nico? Okay, so this is my youngest one. Oh, come here. Yes. Okay, say hi to everyone. I know, right? So when I was teaching from home a lot, I had my students' old or former music piano teacher. She was teaching out of the front of our house. Okay, so things changed for her, and she didn't have a studio. And I said, just come here. You know, use your old piano that you gave to us and teach. So my two cats, I know, right? Yeah. My two cats would come and hang out with all the students, walk on the piano and sit with the girls. And he misses people so much. He misses all those kids, don't you? So when the neighbors, when they're, one lady, she's got a couple of grandchildren that come over, and when he hears those girls, he just lays next to the fence and listens to them. It's so sweet. He's also a bit whiny. Okay, coffee break over. Let's grab these ukuleles again. Cat break. I guess that was a cat break, wasn't it? Not really a coffee break. All right, so get your scale pattern going. 0, 2, 3. Now, I don't know if that's a 3 where the light is. That'll be your test, okay? See if you can see past the light. 0, 2, 3, 5. I'm doing this kind of sideways, so my writing's really quite awful. 8, 10, and then 12. So sorry for my sideways writing. Oh, it's not too bad, hey? Practice it on your first string, practice it on your second string, up and down, playing around with it. And then what we'll do is, like what we did before, well, I'll just sit and play some chords. You guys can play around with that scale. So let's think about, as you're playing around with it, think about what can you do to improvise. Okay. Do you guys remember, like you can play in little clumps, like maybe you like the note 0, 2, 3, and you just want to play around with those. Okay. 8, 10, 12, maybe you like that. Do you guys remember sliding? How to slide? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sonia's got it going on. I see her sliding right there right now. Awesome. Okay. So for people that don't remember or haven't done it before, I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to go to my 3rd fret. See how my finger's nice and close to my fret, just like I'm regularly playing it. And I'm just sliding up. I'm just keeping my pressure on the fretboard. Like a train on a track. I'm moving, but I've got that weight on there. Then I hit the brakes right at my 5th fret. Okay. Or whatever fret I want to end at. The whole thing there is when I slide, you'll see me do this a little bit. Get good and close to the fret and push down a little tiny bit. Not a whole bunch, but it helps me to stop where I need to stop. Okay, so take a second, practice the slides. Okay, so do that. You know, practice sliding up and down wherever you want to. String 1 or string 2. Okay, string 1, playing this on string 1 gives you an A minor natural scale. Playing it on string 2, which is called E, gives you an E minor natural scale. So that's kind of handy. So I'm actually going to sit quietly, have a little bit of coffee, and your guys' job is to practice some slides right now, just for a few seconds. You can slide with any finger you feel comfortable with. Make sure you take your thumb along with you. Depends on where you are, though. Sometimes you can keep your thumb anchored in one spot and slide like that if you want to go back and forth, but you may need to take it right along. Okay. Now I'm just peeking at all my folks on Zoom to make sure that you guys look like you're comfortable with your slides. Okay. Bending. Bending is next. Okay, so not everyone's done bending on their strings. Let's do it now. So I'm going to take, just for the heck of it, I'm going to be on my 7th fret. Now, I'm going to use my middle finger because my middle finger is longer and feels stronger. And I'm putting a little, look at that, I've got a finger behind it too as a buddy, just to help it. I'm going to play my 7th fret. I'm pushing up towards the ceiling with the first string. I'm doing that rather than dragging down, because if I pull, it's going to go off that fretboard. Okay. So I play. You'll see too, see if I can show you. See how I've got my finger kind of tucked a little bit, tiny bit underneath that string? I do that so that I can bend like this and the string doesn't get away from me. Okay, but that's just for my hand shape, my hand position. So find what feels comfortable for you. Pick any fret you want to, play the note, and then push it up towards the ceiling. Play it, push it. And then if you feel all fancy, then you play it as you're pushing it. And then play it as you're bringing it back down. See where my thumb is? Sitting back there supporting my fingers. That helps me a lot when I'm doing bending. My thumb's not always in a perfect position, but I do try to keep it there. So now, for playing with this scale, you've got slides, right? You can go fast. You can slide from one fret away. For right now, your goal to slide to is just one of the frets from the scale, okay? You can bend, and maybe it won't work out perfectly right away, but this is your chance to practice and learn these skills, right? So if I had it written down in tablature to indicate a slide, I would have a line going up for sliding up, or a line going down for sliding down, okay? Like that, right? Bending, usually just a little bent arrow. Okay. Sometimes there's a number next to it to indicate how far they want you to bend. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to get you guys practicing bending because it's so much fun. The other thing that we've done is the vibrato too, right? Which is just like a, oh, we've done it this way, haven't we? Wiggle back and forth like you've got a mosquito bite that you're trying to itch any which way you can. That one's kind of a weird one, hey? But you see, when I do that, see how I'm rocking? Okay, now all that said, I want to check and see if anyone has any questions about those 3 techniques. Sliding, right now we're just sliding up, right? I'm not worrying too much about talking about sliding down, but the technique's the same. You just, it feels a little funny to go in reverse, so you may want to just practice sliding up to start. We've got slides, bends, and then that wiggly vibrato. And that's that one, I've used it in Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? Now, are there any questions about that technique? Because I will demonstrate it again. If anyone needs any clarification, I'll just wait and see if anyone wants to type a question or unmute themselves. Never feel unsure about asking a question, okay? Because chances are good, if you have a question about something, somebody else has that same question. Okay. Yeah, Diane?
I'm wondering, I'm seeing how you bend, and is it that your strings are maybe, like mine don't bend up? I can't go up like you do. Your strings seem to be looser. Well, I'll call it looser than mine. Or is it the strength in your finger?
It's probably the strength in my fingers, the technique I'm using. So I'll clarify that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question, Diane, because not everyone can push up that high, but I'm using fingers as buddies. That's what helps me. Okay. So now I'm going to go for bending. You guys might want to go up around here, fret 7, 8, 10, up there, because there's less string tension. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go up to fret 7 with my pointer finger and put my middle finger on fret 8. And I'm going to play around with bending on fret 8. But I've got my 2 fingers as buddies. I've got my thumb probably maybe down on this side of my fretboard a little bit, right on the neck back there, so that I can brace my hand a little bit for bending. And I play. And the other thing I'm doing, remember how I talked about putting my fingertip a little bit underneath the string? That helps me. Oops. Look at how high I can go if I push, but I am bracing my thumb. So that's what helps there. Whoops. Diane, is it working a little better for you? It's a weird technique at first, hey? When I first started, I couldn't bend very far. That would be about it. And then my fingers would snap off the strings. And that's where having them underneath a little tiny bit really helped me. Diane.
Yeah, I had hand joint replacement, so I think I don't have the strength. Like I can't hold my thumb like a lot of people can.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I have to because it doesn't bend properly. So probably that's what it is. But it's practice, like everything else.
And make it work for you. Because just because I'm playing this way doesn't mean you have to, right? So if you can't hold your thumb the same way that I do, then you find a way that works for you. You know, this is where playing music is such a personal thing. You know, we all come into playing with some sort of hand or body history, right? Like these 2 fingers here, they don't like to spread apart that much on this hand. They're fine on this hand, not so much on this hand. So I modify my playing for myself to suit that. So you modify the way you need to, right? And maybe you can't go like all crazy with the bends like that. Like you don't need to. I'm just showing how to bend, right? And you might just be like, you're still getting that little edgy sound, right? It's still there, that little kind of sound. That's super cool. All right. So anyone else have any questions? No? Okay, you guys are all going to improvise then. You guys are going to rock out and you're going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. You're going to play and I'm going to hit just like I did last week. I'm just going to stay on the A minor chord. That's all I'm going to do. Play around with the scale. 0, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, Larry?
The vibrato. I can't seem to get that hand movement the way you did. Not the vibrato.
It's a weird one at first, hey? Okay, so I'm going to go up to fret 7. I like fret 7 because there's not as much hand tension. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute you, Larry, so the screen stays on me. And so I've got my thumb down here. When I do this, I tend to have my thumb opposite my middle finger. I use my middle finger for vibrato because that's my longest finger and I feel most confident doing that. Okay. And so what I'm doing for that, here's the classical guitar one. I just play and I roll back and forth. So I'm not moving, I'm not sliding my finger back and forth. See how the fingertip is just sitting there? And see how I need to redo my nails? Just rolling it. Like Buddy Guy. No, BB King does this. So BB King vibrato. Just like that. Just twitchy back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes you'll see where people roll it like this. Right? So my fingertip is still there. Just going back and forth. It's like, oh my gosh. I've never had to do it. But it's kind of like maybe doing your fingerprints, right? Where they put the ink on your fingertip and then they roll your finger back and forth, but your finger stays in contact the whole time. That's what I'm picturing now. But you'll see other people do this. That kind kind of twitchy back and forth doesn't work so well on that first string because you heard it pop off the fretboard, right? Try it on the second string. See how I'm just wiggling like that? The whole time though, I'm keeping my finger down so the string is in contact with the fret, okay? If you release that pressure, that's when the sound, well, stops, right? So that's a good one there, the second string. Let's everyone try that. Do the wiggle, that vibrato on string 2, fret 7. We'll all try it together, okay? So you might go like this. You might rock back and forth. You might twitch like this. Find the way that feels right for you, okay? I'm going to do the twitchy one. And you might have a couple fingers down for that because it's like a whole bunch of little tiny bends at that point, right? Or you might go like that. And I'm not moving my hand back and forth, just wiggling a little bit, hey? Just twitchy. Larry, does that help? A little bit? No? That one was a weird one for me to get because what happened was I would do this. And instead of wiggling my finger, I just wiggle my neck. So it feels strange at first. So if anyone's doing that, wiggling their neck instead, hey, welcome to my world. That's what I did too. Was anybody doing that, wiggling their neck? Yeah, maybe. After a while, you get the feel of it. It just takes the hardest thing is the patience, right? Oh. All right, let's jam now. Okay. So I'm just going to do a down, up, smack up, down, up, smack up. And I want you guys to play around with your scale. String 1, string 2, try slides, try bends, try vibrato. Find a few notes that you like the sound of. Maybe you just want to stay up at 8, 10, 12 and play around. You don't need to play the scale up and down. And think a sentence in your mind, like, Tina drinks a lot of coffee. Oh. Fine, think a sentence. That can really help you. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, solo. Get ready to end it. 4 more bars. 3, 2, last one. How did it go? Were you able to get some slides? Maybe? Did you think sentences in your mind? Did you have that happening? Because that can be really fun. So no one has to spill the beans about how they did, but did you experiment with slides? Yeah, sort of. Cool. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Maybe you slide to a note you like, maybe you don't. And then if you hit a note you don't like, slide till you find one you do, right? It's experimentation time. Bending. Did bending work out for anyone? So that can be a bit of a strange one at first, you know? It's a little bit waily, a little bluesy sounding, right? What about vibrato? Did you guys try that one? The little, or hopping to that second string? Did anybody go on that second string to solo, or did you stay on the first string? Just put up a finger, 1 or 2, and show me which string you were soloing on. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Julie, what about you? 2. Oh, 2 and 1. Nice. Okay, right on. So that's your guys' goal, is to play around with both of them. Okay, you can go back and forth with them. After a while, what you'll find is you can maybe do something like, here's an example: 8, 10 on your second string, 8, 10 on your first string. You can take little chunks, the same frets, right? Just like two trains running on a track at the same time. Oops, oh, that sounded bad. Back and forth. Think of it in little groups like that, and you'll have a ball. And if you say to yourself, well, how can I play around with this at home? What can I do? Play a little bit of the scale, and then just hit an A minor chord. Play a little bit more of the scale, and then hit the A minor chord again. And then you'll just be like improvising, and it's all free-flowing, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just, oh, it feels so good, you guys. So try that this week for homework. Play around with the scale, strings 1 or 2, preferably 1 and 2 if you can. Do a little bit of that, and then just hit an A minor chord. When I say that, like, really just relax with it. Like, I don't know. So a little musical sentence, a little strum on A minor. Go back and forth and just play, play, play. Some interesting things will happen. Okay, you'll be playing up and down the fretboard, going from up here down to here. So really getting used to moving up and down all around that fretboard. You paid for the frets, let's use them, right? So go up high, play up there, hit your A minor, play around a little bit, and just relax, and you'll start to feel, at least what's happened with my students before is you just start to feel this confidence and freedom with your playing, and it can feel so good. All right, so that's enough ranting about scales, but in the end, you guys are going to start writing your own music, because you're going to start finding melodies that you like the sound of, and write them down. Okay, write them down, and then throw in, I would just recommend like an A minor or D minor chord. Sounds good too. E minor. Okay. And you don't have to worry about doing any sort of fancy rhythm. Just say a musical sentence, and it can be whatever it wants to be. Then a little bit of one of these chords. That's it. And then shazah, you're writing your own song. That feels so good. And then maybe you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to send Tina a message so she can hear my song. And I'll be like, wow, we're all composers. It'd be so cool. All right. Now we've got to switch a little bit of gears. We're going to hit some White Lion now. Okay, so you might want to have a sip of coffee. Rest your little fingies for a minute. Our fish pond is coming along in the yard. It's very, very deep. The cats are completely uninterested in it, which surprises me to no end. But I bet you they'll be interested when the fish land in there. All right, now I'm going to grab what we've got so far of When the Children Cry, and then we're going to switch gears over to this. And I wrote this out in the same sort of way as Stairway to Heaven, but I just want to explain it to you guys as we go. Okay. Oh. Bending seemed to work better on the second string. I'll bet it did because you're kind of in the middle, right? You can go, and same thing for you, Diane. Yeah, because you can go either way, right? You can go like that and contract your fingers if you want, right? Or push them. Yeah, right on. That's a really good observation, Julie. All right. Here comes When the Children Cry. And this is the part that we've been playing around with. And then I'm going to add in the chords, but it'll be hopefully tidier than the way I have it on the whiteboard. All right, so let's just review it for just a second here. We've got two different picking patterns. This first part here uses, strings 1, 2, 3, 2. So you have that long picking pattern through most of it. And then at the end here with 8 and 7, you've got where you just pick strings 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, right? At the end of the second line, we've got the single notes there, 3, 2, which push you back into the opens again, right? With the picking pattern 1, 2, 3, 2. Now the change that's going to happen is going to be, well, right now we've got A minor there. We might just leave that there and then we'll move into the next picking part. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I'm going to play it. And I think everyone's looking pretty serious already. I think they're cruising through it. Hey, has anybody got this like halfway memorized? I was playing this at the farmer's market. Oh, Shirley, you got it? You got it memorized a bit there? Awesome. I combined it with romance because I was talking about that and I did it. I played romance and then I played When the Children Cry and then I went back and did romance. And the farmer's market was super duper fun, I have to say. Okay, here we go. Nice and slow though, like this speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, with the opens. Up to 12. To 10. Okay, now the 8. 8, 7. Back up to 10. We're on that second line now. Now to 8. And 7. Single notes, 3, 2, line 3 with the opens. Up to 12. Now to 10. The short pattern with the 8 and 7. Fourth line, 10, 8, 7. Second string, oh, 3, A minor. Okay, let's do it again. Ready? Oh, now I'm still using just my middle and index finger and my thumb. I'm having my thumb on my third string, just sitting like that. Okay, one more time. And then I say that, but then our picking pattern for the next part will change. Okay, because it's all over the place, but we can do it. Okay, here we go. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Open. Up to 12. Now to 10. Short pattern with the 8, 7, 10. We're on that second line now, hey, with the 8, 7. Okay, single notes, 3, 2, third line, and 12, 10. Short pattern with the 8, 7, okay, line 4, 10, 8, 7, single notes, 3, A minor. Okay, we all made it through there. Let's do the next part then. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Oops. There we go. Okay. Remember how on Stairway to Heaven, what I did was I wrote out the chord and then I just put the picking pattern underneath? It's going to be the same thing. The chords look a little bit weird, but we'll talk through it, okay? So this one here, A minor / B. Well, what is it really? Here is your normal A minor, with a finger on the 2nd fret. Well, this has just got a finger on the 4th fret, okay? So numbers are 4, 0, 0, 0, okay? So we'll go through, we'll look at the chords first. I'll introduce you to how I wrote this out, and then we'll go through and play it, okay? And then from there, E minor sus4. Sus means that you're adding in an extra note. It's short for suspension or suspended. Okay? So E, F, G, A. You're adding in note 4 away from E. E, F, G, A. That's your first string open. In these sessions, I'm trying to avoid doing a lot of theory and just focusing on playing technique, but sometimes you need to know what's going on in there. But take a look at that shape. That's a D minor shape, isn't it? Right? It's D minor played up a couple frets. Okay, so just see what you can do to find commonality between these, right? And then we've got F. Now, the way I had to write it out so it would all fit on this one board is the first part of the F pattern is here. And then we've got a little bit of tab that we're playing. Okay, so that's just a normal F. And then look at over here. We've got a C, but it's got 2 notes on the 3rd fret. Okay, so it's like that. Then like that. Okay. And then just like the F chord, we've got a bit of a picking pattern. And then some single notes there. Now this is, like we've done the first part of the intro, and this is the first line of the second part of the intro. So we're almost there. And you'll find that when I write it out, I'll give you both of these parts here. The only difference is the first time through, you end on the C chord. Second time through, you end on a different chord. So once we get this pattern down, we've got most of it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to strum these chords so I can find where they are, okay? So I've got my A minor / B. So I ended here, right? Like before that first part, I ended here. So I'm just going to shift my finger up to the 4th fret. Okay, I'm going to play that just so I can start to hear what's going on. Oh, I kind of like that. It's kind of floaty, hey? And then from there, E minor sus4. I'm just going to start laying down my fingers around there. Okay. So if I was to write down fingering for this, I'd have my middle finger there, 3rd finger there, 1st finger there. I choose that fingering because it's the same fingering I use for my D minor chord. So it makes the most sense for me. And therefore I make sure I use my 2nd finger there so I can move comfortably. Okay. Now to carry that on, because they're weird chords, we want to make sure that you're comfortable, right? So you got your A minor / B. Okay. And then from there, I'm laying down D minor on the wrong fret. Okay, for my E minor sus4. Oh, I like that one. And then to come down to F, look, all we got to do is lift up our ring finger. Keep the fingers on the same strings, right? Just like a train on a track going down to that F. Okay, try that a couple times. Go back up to that E minor sus4. Get that ring finger down. And then lift it up, sliding down to F. So we're doing some chord sit-ups right now. Now let's go to C. As I'm playing my F, I know that I've got this part is with the chord down, and then after that, I'm going to be lifting off my fingers to do some tab playing. So off they come. And then I'm going to use these 2 fingers just because that's the 2 I usually use when I when I make a chord shape like that. But you might want to use your middle finger and your ring finger. Okay, it's what works for you. Okay. So one more time through the chord, and then we're going to start doing the picking. Okay, so we ended off that last part with an A minor. So let's go down, do a normal A minor. There we are. Now shifting up to that 4th fret, still with the middle finger. Ooh. E minor sus4. Looks like a D minor on the wrong fret. Now my ring finger comes up and I slide down to my F. Now I know that I'm going to be playing some tab. I'm just going to lift off my fingers there. I've played my tab, and now I'm going to make my C chord with whatever fingering I want to use to have 2 on the 3rd fret. Could be this, could be this. I love the sound of that C chord voiced like that. Oh. All right, now we got to pick it. Okay, you guys can totally do this. These are all just running through at the same speed. It looks busy, right? But it's just, I just had to kind of cram them on there to fit them on. The only time where our timing changes is way down here, okay? That's the only time where we slow down, right? Like all these are all 8th notes all the way along, and then quarters. Okay, so let's do this. So A minor / B, we'll do it 4 notes at a time. So 1, 2, 4, 3. Now I'm going to pick, I might use all 4 of my fingers. I might use my fingers and my thumb, depends on how I'm feeling, right? Depends on what works for me. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, nice and slow. 1, 2, 4, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 4, 3. Now 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. We know that 1, 2, 3, 2 from the pattern before, right? Okay, now let's put them together. Here we go. 1, 2, 4, 3. Now 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, E minor sus4. Take a minute, make that chord. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 2. Here we go, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now let's play those 8 again there. Ready? Here we go with the 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 2. 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do the F. Ring finger comes up. Slide down to your F. Strings 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay. Now some tab. We've got 1 and 3 on the 2nd string. 1st string open, 2nd string open. Okay. So let's make the F again. 2, 3, 4, 3. You guys are all playing a song that I know that you might not know, and I'm having a ball doing this with you. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 3. Here we go. Ready, go. 2, 3, 4, 3. Now the tab. 1, 3. 1st string open, 2nd string open. We're almost there. 1, 2, 3, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2. And now the tab. 3, 3. Okay. It's a bit of a handful, right? Because there's not a lot of consistency between them. But let's break it apart. If you practice it in 4 note chunks, it starts to become a little bit easier. And you know that pattern already, the 1, 2, 3, 2. and it comes back again there. So start to find common ground in there. That can really help when you're picking these things apart. This motion is the same as that motion. It's just set up on a different string. By that, I mean, what I did was I used these fingers here. Right there. And for 1, 2, 3, 2. See, it's the same fingers. Just set up on strings 2, 3, 4. So you can do that too. Or use your 4 fingers. The 3 fingers in your thumb, right? Depends on what works for you. Okay. Let's go through. Let's play it again. And we'll sound so fancy. We'll be like a White Lion tribute band. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. A minor / B. We'll just start right there. I'll count to 4 and then we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, now let's make that D minor shape. Or E minor sus4. I'm going to wait for a second, make sure you guys got it. Okay, good. Here we go. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 2. 2, 3, 4, 2. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ring finger comes up. Slide down to your F chord. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 3. Ready, go. 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, now the picking. 1, 3 on my second string, the first string open, second string open. Now to C, 1, 2, 3, 2. But let's get those fingers down there. Everybody's good? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2. Single notes. We've already got our finger there. So handy on that second string. 3, 3. Now I'm going to play it at a speed that we would be running through. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to play both parts together so you can hear it run in, okay? I'll get myself all cozy here. Da, 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 da. All right, so first part. Okay, so that's the first part. Now I'm going up there. So that's how it's two separate parts, right? You've got the first part that's more minor sounding, and this one starts to have a bit more of a sweeter major sound to it. Okay, so I'm going to play this part again at that speed. Now I know it's going to be a little bit tricky to follow along with, but I just want you to hear it. So whatever you can play with me, or if you just want to sit and listen, just sit and listen, okay? So something to watch out for though. I know when I ended the first part, I landed with my pointer finger on A minor. So I made sure that I put my middle finger here when I got up here. Nico likes the song too. Did you hear him meow? All right, so starting with my middle finger on the A minor / B. The slash, if anyone's wondering what that means, just means what the bass note is. Okay, that's a B there. So that's all it means. It sounds like really fancy, right? I'm playing an A minor / B. That's it. Okay. Here we go. And now I was staring at my screen that way, so I probably looked really intense, like I was staring hard at you guys. I'm just going to turn around this time so I don't look so intense. There we go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to F. Oops. So once you start getting it up to speed, you have this lovely flow. Yeah. So that's that. I'll write it out tidier and put it up on the screen, or like on the website. But before I do that, what makes sense for you guys? Does it make sense having it written like 1 and then 2? Or would it be better just to have them written one after the other? What do you, one after the other? Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, 9:55. Let's play something else now. We've been working the white line. We've been improvising. What do you guys want to do? Stairway to Heaven or Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Which one? Oh, well, let's do Stairway to Heaven. Then we're already working the finger picking like crazy with that. Let's do it. Okay, I'll put it up on the screen here. Let me just check. Okay. Now this one I'd meant to play at the farmer's market and then I didn't. I was doing, I did Georgia on My Mind, Summertime, bunch of classical songs, flamenco tunes. And just before I sat down to play at the farmer's market, I smashed my fingernails into my music stand and broke my baby fingernail, which I use a lot for a lot of really fancy strumming. Oh, and I just knew it was going to happen at some point. You know, it was like living on borrowed time with that baby fingernail, but oh well. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, E7, C, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 1, D. Here comes F, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. G, A minor, and here comes the O8-7. Ready? Next line. 4, 3, 2, 1, E7. C, 4 and 1. D, 4 and 2. F, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the plucking. G, A minor, hang on while I scroll, hang on to that O2, ready? O2, ready, go. O2, C. D, 1, 2, 3, 1, F. 2, 3, 1 with a tab. O, leading tones. C, 1 and 4. G, 1 and 4. D, pluck, pluck, pluck. Leading tones. O, 2, C. D, F, 1, 2, 3. Tab, O, leading tones. O, 2, C. D, 4 and 1. F. Hang on while I scroll. Oh, okay, there we go. Last line. Ready, go. A minor. 4, 3, 2, 1. E7. C, 4 and 1. D, 4 and 2. F. Slow it right down with the G, A minor. I think we all finished it at the same time, you guys. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. You guys look so confident when you're playing that. That is super cool. Because I mean, I was watching us when I was sharing the screen, and our hands were moving to the chords at the same time. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I gotta check in. My folks that are watching me on YouTube, I'm not sure how you guys are doing with the playing, but I hope that it worked out well for you too, because I mean, my heart is full right now. So cool. That's so cool. All right, so homework for next week. Play around with the 2 scales. Write down some notes that you like. You don't have to play it for me, right? This is just for you, right? Oh, just for you, right? To come up with some ideas that you like the sound of. Sentences work well because they give you a bit of a focal point. So, you know, Tina's cat is whiny. Tina's a cat lady. Play around with it, you know, keep it fun, right? That's what it's got to be about, right? You're going to learn a lot more if you just have fun with it and relax with it. So, like I say, try to memorize that pattern if you don't have it memorized. Apply it to strings 1 and 2, and try out these techniques like the bending, you know, see where you're comfortable doing that. Play around a little bit, hit a chord. And there's no right, there's no wrong. It's just you expressing yourself, okay? And we'll work through the rest of the intro to that White Lion song so everyone can say that they can play a White Lion song. And honestly, it's complementary with Romance, and it's complementary with Stairway to Heaven too. It's got that same sort of feel to it. So there you go. Then eventually you have like a little repertoire of songs that you can play one after the other, and they all sound kind of neat together. All right, guys, I gotta go because I have to do my guitar live stream in 15 minutes to make up for the fact that I wasn't able to do it yesterday. So I gotta flip whiteboards and grab a coffee. Okay, take care, everyone, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. And on live stream there, I'm gonna stop that right now. Thank you for joining me on YouTube.